Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. I wanted to create a video on how it is that I come up with my levels on how I trade the ES now each and every day. I have struggled with this for over 3 years and I have finally figured out a very easy strategy on trading the S&P ES specifically. Let's get into it right after the intro. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so I know this is going to be a long-awaited video. I have started to introduce levels into my videos each and every morning, and this is something that I have been, I don't want to say researching, but this is something that I have just by looking at charts for over 3 years and have been honestly, I've mentioned it many times that I have never really been able to figure out specifically the ES. The ES is always just boggled my mind on how price action works, and it's always been very difficult for me. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of indicators and trend lines or VWAP or Bollinger Bands. I mean, there's tons of indicators that are out there, and I'm sure that some of them work. Some have come up with strategies that work, but I have figured out a very, very simple way of trading the ES, and it's been actually going really well. I have been, I want to say, studying this for a very long time and finally started to have some confidence into mapping them, coming up with areas that I can see, levels that I see that price action can touch into and then reject out of. So some might call it support and resistance. There is 100 different probably terminologies for what it is that I'm going to show you, but this is something that, let's just get right into it. Let me just show you guys what it is that I'm looking at. So this is the ES. I've got this on Market Replay. I've got it to about 6:30 in the morning. So this is about, I probably start looking at the charts at about 7 a.m. Central Time, so about an hour and a half before the market opens. And I kind of start to map out my levels. I post these levels on my Discord each and every morning, and I obviously show them and I show my trades. I did a live stream about 2 weeks ago where I funded a $50,000 Top Step account strictly trading this style of trading. And it's the first time that I've ever been able to pass an evaluation on a non-mechanical. If you guys know me and you know my trading style, I'm a very mechanical, rule-based trader. So this is, I don't want to say deviates, but it does. It deviates from my from what I'm comfortable in, because there is discretion in here. Excuse me. There is discretion into this type of trading, and I believe that once you put in discretion, you kind of open yourself up to over trading, revenge trading, a lot of you open up a can of worms. So I have tried to come up with rules that will help me contain that. And one of the rules that I have come up with is to take one trade per day. Find a level that I can find that is just a very, very sweet level, something that I have full confidence in, and take that one trade. And there's a lot of patience involved. You can map something out at 7 o'clock in the morning, and price action might not hit that until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As you guys know, I have a full-time job, and it's hard for me to look at the chart. So sometimes I miss really great opportunities, even though I post these levels, and I even draw the setups as to exactly what it is that I'm going to be looking at, not in hindsight. What I'm going to be teaching you now is in hindsight, but the levels that I give each morning, those are not hindsight. That's what I think, that what I see price action doing. And the way for me to explain it, I guess, is pretty simple. What I'm looking for is I am looking for price action to be going obviously in one direction, either up or down. So if you can get 2 or 3 down candles, fantastic. Sometimes I can only see 2, but what I'm really looking for is the market going in one direction, and for one reason or the other, I don't know what the reason is, price action decides to reverse from a particular area. And I am just looking for a very strong movement out of the direction that we were currently going in. Okay, so for example, we are on a 15-minute time frame. That's extremely important to start off with. I like to start with the 15-minute time frame. What I will do is I will simply put a line, and I like to make my lines on the 15-minute solid blue. I think there's 2 lines in there, but you get the point. I like to put a solid blue line at a 15-minute level. Not a box. I don't like to draw zones. I know there's some people that love drawing zones, and I get it, because price action sometimes doesn't go exactly to my level. It'll miss it by a tick or 2, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I also believe that zones, if you've got 1 or 2 points or a 3-point zone in the ES, I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, if you're trading the ES, it's a $150 zone that you're looking at, and then you got to add your stop loss to that. So I'd rather take trades that actually touch into my levels, and if it goes without me, so be it. There will be another trade. There'll be another day. There are setups every single day. So this would be my first level. Now remember, let's pretend that it's 6:30 in the morning. So I'm looking at price action from the day previous. This is what I do every single morning. The next thing I would like to find is another level. Another key component to this levels trading that I have been doing is I need to find an area that has not been touched already, meaning that price action has not. So if this candle right here would have come down and touched this zone, now it's weakened that area. Not to say that it can't come right back into it and bounce off of it again for a third time or a second time, but I believe at that point that zone, that level, has now weakened. So if you can find fresh levels, meaning that has not been touched into, those seem to work very, very well. Another level that I clearly see is right here. You've got price action going up, and you've got a strong rejection for whatever reason. I don't know if it's smart money, banks, different type of concepts that are out there. I honestly don't know. I'm not that smart. But what I do see is that there is a big shift in direction from this area. So what I will do on the, again, we're on the 15-minute. I will put a line right there that intersects the tops of those 2 candles. Okay? Or I should say the bodies of those 2 candles, not the wicks, the bodies of those 2 candles. So I find an area that intersects both. Right there looks good. Right there looks good. So I've got two areas here. I will find here now a third area. And you can say that price action here was going up, and then you had a strong rejection. So I'm going to show you about this one. This one would go right around here. Okay, so it intersects both. What happens on this third down candle? It touches back into this level. So this level, in my opinion, is now a weaker level. I am looking for very fresh levels to trade from. This is a fresh level. This is a fresh level. And it is honestly as simple as that. Now, for those that have watched my videos each and every day, I like to go, I first map everything on a 15-minute, and then I like to jump down to a 5-minute time frame and map out anything that has not been touched as well. The nice thing about the 5-minute time frame is that it will start to also give you certain areas where you can look for that will give you clear stop losses and clear take profits. And I'm going to show you this, how I do this now. So if I, for instance, right here, if we go down into, well, let me just see if there's one other level down here. Okay, that's, if we can find 4 15-minute levels, it's fantastic, which is 2 levels above price action, 2 levels below. Let me just see if I can find anything. Might have to go, okay, so price action comes back down to here. Let's see. Do you guys spot any fresh level underneath this level that we have here? We sure do. Right here. We've got a downtrend, and for whatever reason, price action jumped from this area right here. So what do? I map this, I put a level intersecting both bodies. So that level goes right there. Not down here at the wicks, not here, right there. That's the area that I would see on the 15-minute. So let's go back to where we're currently at for the day. Now I've got my 4 levels mapped out on the 15-minute time frame. Now, can you kind of start to see areas that price action might want to tap back into and reject? Well, sure. If it rejected for one reason or the other, there's a very damn good chance that the next time price action goes, is it going to reject? It could. It's got a very good chance. That's what I've been seeing every single day. You know, I make $200-300 a day. Some days I have $500. Some days I lose $200 or $300 if the trade doesn't work out. This is not going to work out. If you could figure out these type of markets and get them right, I mean, more than 80 to 90%, you're damn good. You're a damn good trader. But for whatever reason, this seems to work. And I'm talking about the ES. I map out the ES, the YM, and the NQ every day. I have gotten very, very comfortable with the ES as far as how it moves. And it respects this style of trading. It probably respects 10 other different styles of trading. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but for whatever reason, I have an easy time seeing this. So now I'll jump into the 5-minute. And I will see if there is any opportunities that I see where price action currently has been. So what do we see here? We've got a rejection and a movement out. But look at this, for where I would have to put this line right there. And I like to switch this then to a dotted line. So my dotted lines are always 5-minute. And my 15 minutes are always solid line. That way on the chart, I can always identify an area where if it's a weaker level or a very strong level. Obviously, 15-minute higher time frame, in my opinion, is much stronger. Do you guys see that if you intersect these 2 boxes or these 2 bodies right here, do you see on this second up bar right here, okay, this guy right here, he already tapped into this level. Would that be a strong level or a weaker level? I believe it becomes a weaker level. So I will not map that. Okay, I'm looking for fresh levels where price action has not touched back into. What about this guy right here? Looks good to me. I can put a line right here. And that would be a 5-minute level for me. Now you can say, Rob, what do you use these 5-minute levels for? Well, I use them for areas where I can also determine my take profit, and also it helps me with my stop losses. Okay, so if I continue looking on this chart, I really don't see any other 5-minute time frames, 5-minute candles that have that criteria that I'm looking for. One, a strong direction in one way or the other, and then you get this jolt that goes in a different direction, and it's not been touched into. All of this stuff here seems to have been touched into. This was an area, but currently got touched. This is an area right now, fresh, that has not been touched into. Okay? At least that's what I see. And let's see if I shorten this up, if I see any other levels here that... Let's take a look. So you've got a level right here with these two candles. Obviously, you've got an up, and then you got a strong down, but it tap back into it right here. So again, not a great level. We do have a level right here, right there. That's a level that I can say has not been tapped into. And then here's a perfect example, like right here. If you get into a trade, you can make this 15-minute level your level that you're seeing. You're hoping that you get a bounce to the downside, and then you've got another level right above it that you can now use as a stop loss, meaning that your stop loss would go maybe a point or two, depending on how far of a target it is that you're looking for and what your risk to reward is. But at least you've got some levels of defense that, you're not just picking a blind stop loss. Sometimes you have to do it based on your risk to reward. I'm not saying you don't, but sometimes you do. But this just makes things look clearer to me. 15-minute, 5-minute. If I can get a bounce off the 15-minute, I know I have got another 5-minute level above me. I have confidence that I can take a bounce off of this level to the downside. Okay, so hopefully that you guys kind of start to understand what it is that I'm trying to look for. So it's 6 a.m. We're just gonna play this on market replay and kind of see what price action decides to do. Okay, so you can kind of see this level. It's weird, right? How this level just keeps bouncing off of this level. Okay, so it's tapping into something. It's tapping into, you can call it this liquidity, orders that are sitting there, whatever it is. But you can see this price, and I see this every single day. These levels they just get into, and there's something about it where price action has a hard time just moving very quickly from. So we'll continue. Obviously, I have a trade opportunity down here, and I've got a trade opportunity up here. If I continue, let's see. Well, what does price action do? It tapped into this level to the dot. I mean, literally to the tick. It got right here. Remember this 5-minute level that we had up here that had that's already shown that it had some movement out of? Well, guess what? Now, if you did your order from here, if you put an order to go long at this level, now you've got an area for a take profit. 18 points to take profit. I don't know. You want to go for 1 to 2, you go to 9. That's good. You can find a 5-minute level somewhere. You can do a swing low. I mean, there's 100 different ways that you can come up with this. I personally prefer a 5-minute level, but that's it's going to be your preference as to how you kind of come up with these stop losses. But a 1 to 2, a 1.5 to is a pretty damn good risk to reward on the ES. So taps into this level right up here. You got your full take profit. Now we've got another opportunity that that obviously we spotted up here already. We marked this out, and we continue on. What happened right here? It tapped into it right to the tick. So now, what do we have as a, let's say this trade's over with, obviously. Let's say, what do we have as a fresh level? I would say almost right here, but if we jump down to the 5 minute, let's see if we've got anything. To be honest with you, this tapped in right here. My 5 minute level probably would have been right there. That's an area. You see how you've got a down and you've got that movement up, and at the same time it has not been tapped into yet. Once this hits that line, you can use that as a take profit. That's a take profit of 9.25 points. And you've got a clear stop loss right above it. Okay, that helps you with your risk to reward. There's another level that just happened right here after we marked this 5 minute. I can move this level right to there. You guys can see it's intersecting both of these lines, both of these candles. Okay, we had up, we had a down, we had a back up to another 5 minute level, another 5 minute level right here. Okay, so you kind of start to understand where these, where price action is trying to get into, and it keeps tapping into these areas. And I know this might be oversimplified video. Maybe for some, you're going to still see confusion as to, Rob, what do you consider to be a level? And I get it. That's actually one of the main reasons why I have kind of resisted on showing this on YouTube, because this is still very discretionary. And it's hard I find it very difficult to teach very discretionary style of trading, because I could draw levels and I can say, well, that trade worked, this trade worked, and you're going to always find levels where things are going to work and things are not going to work. But I promise you, if you start mapping, if you just start finding those little, those two criteria that we're looking for on candles, one move, price action going in one direction and just getting halted and going to the other direction very strongly, and it not being touched into yet. And you will find yourself some great scalping opportunities each and every single morning. Now, I have started to go live on YouTube, so I trade this style of trading live. And each and every morning, I post not only in my Discord, I post all of the levels on the YM, the ES, and the NQ at about 7:35, 7:40 Central Time. So about almost 45 minutes before the market opens, all those levels are posted. And I will even post some of my trading ideas as to why I think that price action is going to be bouncing in one area or the other. So I will post many times things like this. Okay, and that's just to show what I'm looking at. And I post those, and then I also have my videos. Each day I post videos on my morning strategies. I've got a strategy in gold and oil and in the NQ that I trade each and every morning. I show those trades, and I've also now started to incorporate the levels into those videos as well. So each and every day is a training opportunity, and I'm just trying to get better each and every day. I'm hoping that you guys find some value out of these videos that I am putting out there, and hopefully this makes sense. If you've got questions or comments, leave them down below. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and join the Discord. It's free. It's a great community and of like-minded traders that are just trying to help people. So I will see you guys soon. Happy trading, everyone.